My husband's childhood best friend made me invisible for years, so her boyfriend and I did it better. Claire has treated me like I don't exist since day one, and he always had an excuse for her. She would look through me at parties, talk around me like I was furniture, and only acknowledge my existence when she needed something from my husband. He's just socially awkward, he'd say. Like that explained why she'd text him at midnight about her breakups, but couldn't remember my name at our engagement party. I tried though. God, I tried. Invited her to brunches she'd cancel last minute. Saved her a bridesmaid spot she declined. Asked about her photography degree she'd answer while looking at him. By the time we got married, I'd given up. She skipped our wedding, of course. Family emergency. She texted him while posting beach selfies that same weekend. The pattern became predictable. Claire gets dumped, Claire needs comfort, husband drops everything. She's going through a tough time. Movie night canceled. She really needs a friend right now. Anniversary dinner postponed. You know she doesn't have anyone else. Except she did. She'd had a boyfriend, Jake, for 6 months. Not that you'd know it from how often she canceled their plans to comfort my husband. Then came the photo shoot. Out of nowhere, Claire messages me for the first time ever, asking if I'd model for her final project. I thought maybe finally this was it, and she finally wanted to connect. My husband was thrilled. See? She's trying. So we went to her family's place, this massive house with a converted studio, but I should have known something was off when her whole family was there, drinking wine like it was dinner theater. That's when it started. Her mom called my husband our son-in-law. Her sister joked about the one that got away. Claire kept snapping photos while they talked about how she'd always imagined walking down the aisle with him. I stood there in vintage poses while they rewrote history. My husband actually laughing along. They're just being funny, he said when I shot him a look. You know how families are. Halfway through, I excused myself to find a bathroom. Walking past Claire's bedroom, door ajar, I froze, and there it was. My favorite UCLA shirt sprawled across her bed. The one I'd torn my house apart looking for. The one my late grandmother bought me. The one my husband insisted would turn up eventually. My stomach dropped. I grabbed it, stuffed it in my purse, and returned to the shoot. That night, I found Jake on Instagram and messaged him about the UCLA shirt. He replied that it had just showed up one day. Then he mentioned something strange. Actually, I found a men's leather belt in my stuff at her place. Definitely not mine. He sent a photo. It was the belt I'd bought my husband for his Chicago trip, the one he'd claimed he left at the hotel. We both went quiet as the pieces clicked. We should meet for coffee, I wrote. We discovered that all those times Claire was with her sick mom matched perfectly with my husband's gym nights. The pattern was obvious, but we weren't just going to confront them. We were going to give them exactly what they'd been giving us. The plan was simple. We'd mirror everything they did. The late night crisis texts when they were together, coffee runs during their dates, inside jokes they wouldn't understand. We'd say things like, "You wouldn't get it. We've been through so much together," even though we just met. It started immediately. That very night, Jake texted Claire during her emergency with my husband, having the worst panic attack. Can't breathe. I showed up at his apartment with his favorite coffee and we took a selfie. My hand on his shoulder, both looking concerned but intimate. Posted it at 11:47 p.m., right when my husband's location showed him at Claire's. Within days, we escalated. I'd accidentally call my husband while laughing with Jake, then hang up quickly. Jake would leave Claire on red for hours while we grabbed lunch in places they frequented. We created inside jokes in real time, referencing them constantly. Remember the umbrella incident? I'd say loudly when they were nearby, and Jake would burst out laughing at absolutely nothing. The paranoia hit fast. Claire started showing up at Jake's work unannounced, and my husband began timing my errands. We leaned into it, becoming unpredictable. Some days we'd be completely normal. Others we'd have 3 emergencies requiring immediate coffee meetings. We'd use their exact phrases, "You just don't understand our connection," and some friendships transcend explanation. After a month of watching them unravel, we decided it was time for the finale, a double date. I wore the UCLA shirt, cleaned and perfect, and Claire's face went white when she saw it. She kept staring at it throughout dinner, then at Jake, then at me, like she was trying to solve a puzzle. My husband's jaw tightened every time Jake and I shared a look. We made inside jokes about conversations from yesterday, and Claire's grip on her wine glass turned her knuckles white. When I touched Jake's arm while laughing, her eye twitched. When he mentioned how I'd gotten him through tough times, my husband went pale. Claire snapped, "I know what you're doing." "What? Being friends?" I asked. They imploded in the parking lot, accusing each other of revealing their secret. The paranoia consumed them completely. They installed tracking apps, demanded passwords, questioned every text and phone call. Within weeks, they'd become exactly what they'd created. Suspicious partners terrified of being played. When my husband accused me of having an affair with Jake for the 10th time, I filed for divorce. Jake left Claire the same week. A year later, they're still destroying each other with suspicion, while Jake and I fell in love for real. Sometimes the best revenge is just showing someone their own reflection.